Today, we discuss big news that was announced in the world of professional boxing. We also discuss a lack of news in the world of mixed martial arts. And what about UFC 300? What about it? Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? Who's gonna be there? Who gonna fight? I don't know. All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. So we're going to start out with a young up and coming boxer. I'm going to tell you a little story about a upstart rookie in the world of boxing who is about to have his second boxing match against a former heavyweight champion and at one point in time considered to be one of the best heavyweights in the world in boxing. This young and up and coming rookie in boxing, he goes by the name of Frank the Tank Francis Ngannou, who is about to have his second boxing match against Anthony Joshua, one of the former heavyweight champions of the world. This will be the second heavyweight champion. This will be a former one, but second heavyweight champion that Francis Ngannou goes into, I was about to say the octagon, into the ring with. That's it. That's the end of the tweet. That's what's dominating the world of combat sports right now as far as news. Francis Ngannou is going to step in the ring with Anthony Joshua. So first, before I jump off into that, let's start out with this. The fight that was actually supposed to be taking place right now is Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. That was probably going to be the major fight that I feel like one way or the other, they were going to figure out a way to get done. But what ends up happening, what had happened was Deontay Wilder steps in the ring with Joseph Parker, didn't look good, didn't look hungry, and Joseph Parker beats him, wins by decision. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua goes out there and styles on Otto Wallin. So, I mean, I don't know what Deontay Wilder is going to do, but I know that at the end of that fight, when Deontay Wilder took that L, Big Frank the Tank, Francis Ngannou, had to be sitting there licking his chops because he knew what was in store. He knew what was next. He's clearly going to be Saudi Arabia's guy. This fight is going down in Saudi Arabia. He's clearly going to be the guy that they continue to seek out or go to, along with Tyson Fury, of course, for these major fights. And I mean, this is huge because essentially, when Francis Ngannou goes out there in his first boxing match and almost dethrones the sitting heavyweight champion, lineal heavyweight champion, being Tyson Fury, at that point, he could have wrote his own check via Saudi Arabia for his next fight. So you knew, when people was talking about who's it gonna fight in the PFL? Bro, he ain't fighting nobody in the PFL, all right? It's gonna be a long time on that. Everyone knew the next thing he's going to do is he's going to go out there and he's going to box somebody else. Even if he has to cut a little check to PFL, like, PFL, hush up, hush, while I go out here and I get this paper. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, bro, that's it. Anthony Joshua is going to step in there with Francis Ngannou. Here's the thing. When we were leading up to the Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury fight, of course, like everyone else in the world, other than Ariel Helwani, who wants to have you believe that, he literally knows something about boxing. I'm not saying that I do or that I know more, but, Ariel is still doing his victory lap. Oh, he was front and center announcing this fight. He couldn't wait with his little pink hoodie on his little, in his little makeshift library in his crib with the fake books. He could not wait, you know what I'm saying? But here we are. But when he fought Tyson Fury, much like everybody else, I picked Tyson Fury to go in there and wash him. I didn't really see any reason why he wouldn't wash him, right? But after Francis Ngannou goes out there and almost beats Tyson Fury, arguably by a lot of people's scorecards, probably did beat Tyson Fury. This is a total different story. This fight between him and Anthony Joshua is totally different because I've been this is my own impression, this is my opinion. I've been of the opinion that Anthony Joshua would probably get washed by Tyson Fury, unless Tyson Fury is completely fallen off now. With that being said, that was always kind of my feeling, is he was going to get washed by Tyson Fury. And I watched with my own eyes Francis Ngannou go out there and do work against Tyson Fury. So in this, you're talking about Anthony Joshua is a little bit, one could argue, he's a little bit chinny. I wouldn't say he's chinny. I'm not going to say he's chinny. But let's just say if a fist connects with his chin, he gonna wobble a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He gonna wobble. And he's stepping in there with a massive guy. Not saying Anthony Joshua's not massive, but Francis Ngannou is massive. You know what I'm saying? He looked small compared to Tyson Fury, but look how big Tyson Fury is. He's stepping in there with a mammoth guy like Francis Ngannou, who I believe more than having the perfect game plan against Tyson Fury or just being, outperforming Tyson Fury or anything like that. I believe the main tool that Francis Ngannou had in his toolbox, the main skill that he had, if you want to call this a skill, is that he's so raw to boxing. And I don't mean unfamiliar with boxing to diminish his skills, but he doesn't fall for the feints and the tendencies and the traps and things like that all of your elite boxers do. Francis Ngannou doesn't fall for that because I don't believe, not saying he doesn't know to look for the traps or he doesn't know to look for these attributes of these elite boxers, but I believe that when you're in the heat of the moment and you're in the ring, I think that kind of goes out the window. And I think he's fighting off of instinct and a lot of training that he's putting in, but also instinct. And in my opinion, from what I saw in the Tyson Fury fight, I feel like Tyson was trying to set his normal traps. Tyson was trying to use his normal feinting and, kind of I wouldn't say it's herky-jerky, but somewhat herky-jerky movement. And he wasn't as mobile as he was against, Deontay Wilder in their first fight. But Francis Ngannou just wasn't biting for it because I don't think Francis Ngannou has been doing it long enough to recognize, oh, he's going for that trap. I need to maneuver over here and, sway this way, sway that way. I need to drop back. Okay, I need to use my footwork to get out of this trap because he's angling me toward the corner. I don't really think that Francis Ngannou, not that he doesn't notice it or doesn't know how to do it, I just think that he hasn't been doing it long enough where he recognizes and reacts, which is what all the other boxers do, and Tyson Fury has now set you up. He's expecting you to react in a way that all other boxers do, and Francis Ngannou just wouldn't do it. So with that being said, I think that's still going to be the same in the Anthony Joshua fight. I believe that while Anthony Joshua is a totally different style boxer than Tyson Fury, I just have a feeling that at this stage in his career, we're not talking about, the young, just fought Klitschko Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? This is a different Anthony Joshua. While he did look good against Otto Wallin, still, this is a different Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say this is prime Joshua. So, if you're fighting a mammoth guy like Francis Ngannou, Francis definitely had the stamina in his fight against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is not known to gas. He's not known to run out of stamina. But Francis Ngannou hang in there. Of course, he was tired by the last 2 rounds. But I mean, who wouldn't be? He was still in that fight. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at it, he's not going to fall for the traps and things that Joshua might use. And Joshua's not a trapper. You know what I'm saying? He's not a guy that's known for doing all that. But there's, that's still relative to his game. I don't know, man. Unless I see something different in the buildup, this fight's going to go down in March in Saudi Arabia. I might be picking Francis Ngannou to go in there and defeat Anthony Joshua. I'm not doing. Look. I know I'm not doing it yet, but your boy might have to slide with Francis on that one. Might have to slide with him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, I don't know. I saw a lot out of Francis in that Tyson Fury fight. So we'll see how that's going to go down. But yeah, it's been signed in March. Francis Ngannou steps in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Let's move on. MMA. Bellator has now been, bought by PFL. That's old news. So we got PFL. We got one championship. We got the UFC. What are we doing, boys? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Now, I know the UFC has been steadily announcing fights that have been, really good fights. I'm not here to say there haven't been outstanding fights announced. But the only thing in everyone's mind right now, on the tip of everybody's tongue, is UFC 300. So we know Dricus du Plessis is going to challenge Sean Strickland for the middleweight championship. Okay? We know Sean O'Malley is going to fight Chito Vera. You know what I'm saying? We know that Alexander Volkanovski is going to fight Topuria. I mean, we know about a lot of outstanding fights. You know what I'm saying? Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa. We know about a lot of good fights, and some of them are signed for UFC 300. The featherweight debut of Aljamain Sterling against Calvin Kattar. We know about a lot of good fights. So I'm not here to argue that the UFC hasn't announced a lot of good fights. But as I start with them, what is going on, bro, with UFC 300? That's all we worried about. That's all we care about at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I know it's roughly about 4 months away, but it's like, bro, don't keep coming around here with that Bilal Muhammad, that weak Bilal Muhammad Leon Edwards fight, bro. Granted, that's probably going to be a pretty good fight. I wouldn't say it's going to be the most action-packed fight. Might not be the funnest fight, but if you like a technical, possibly grappling, wrestle, maybe a little bit of stand-up kind of fight, that's your fight. So, and Bilal, probably has a good chance at beating Leon Edwards. I would side with Leon going into that, but who knows? But, bro, don't be coming in here with that little weak main event, bro. What's the main event of UFC 300? Is you going to drag Brock out of retirement? You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing nothing in WWE at the moment. Is you going to let him take everything? USADA's out the way and let him come in, juice to the you-know-what and let him do his thing? Is you going to get Ronda Rousey out of retirement? She ain't doing nothing with wrestling at all either. Can you cut a big enough check, throw in there with Pena, and let her do her thing? You know what I'm saying? Throw in there with Misha Tate. Let them throw down. Throw in there with Holly Holmes. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that's going to be the most action-packed deal, but, I mean, where's the names? You already done got Connor and Chandler out of here. We're not going to see them to June. Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz, not happening. Can you get GSP's Ode A out of retirement and Nick Diaz, doesn't he need a little bit more cash? Can you throw him in there with GSP? Can Khabib leave from his family respectfully and, be like, one more for my father's plan? Can he come back and fight at UFC 300? Can we get an in-house family feud? Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Can we get that? UFC, can we get something? I'm begging you, Dana White. Please, can we get something? I mean, really, can we get something? I mean, it's ridiculous, bro, what we got to go through. Can we get something cracking for UFC 300? Is all your boy is saying. I mean, no one knows what's going to happen with Israel Adesanya. You know, Alex Pereira possibly might be waiting till later in the year to fight, Jamal Hill. I mean, what are we going to do, man? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Pantoja's not fighting, and he's not a huge name. We don't have Sean O'Malley on UFC 300. We don't have Volkanovski on UFC 300. I don't know. I haven't heard a ton about Makachev being on there. Plus, it's around Ramadan or possibly during Ramadan. So it's like, bro, I don't see that happening. Who gonna fight at UFC 300? John Jones tore his whole chest off. You know what I'm saying? Tore his whole chest off. You know what I'm saying? Who we gonna get at UFC 300, man? That's what I'm talking about. Who we gonna get at UFC 300? I don't even know, man. I mean, like, who? Leon Edwards is the only champion that they have committing to doing this card. Then they keep talking about doing Zhang Wei Li stepping in the octagon with Alexa Grasso. Okay, at least it's kind of a strange fight, you know what I'm saying? A fight, that you didn't necessarily know that you want, but if you saw it, you probably wouldn't dislike it. Well, get it signed then. It don't need to be the main event, but get it signed. Get it signed. John Wei Li, sign it. Alexa Grasso, sign it. Let's get him in there. Let's get him in the octagon, whatever weight class. I mean, where the stars at, bro? It's UFC 300. Bring Jose Aldo out of retirement. You know what I'm saying? He can't come out of retirement and finally face Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz versus Uriah Faber. You know what I'm talking about? You can't drag both of these guys out there. Uriah always looks like he's in shape. He's obviously got a sharp mind. He's been coaching. Pull him out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bruh, like, UFC, y'all dropping the ball, bro. Like, where's the, where's the humph? Where's the pizzazz? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing for UFC 300? That's all I'm saying. I don't really know. I don't really understand, but that's what I'm saying. What are we doing for UFC 300? Then as for one championship, you don't hear a lot out of them right now. No big new fight with Stamp Fairtex fighting, I don't know. And PFL, what are y'all doing? Y'all acquired Bellator and we still sit there. Y'all supposed to be the number 2 or 1A promotion in the world, according to them. What are y'all doing, PFL? Like, are you going to sign Cyborg versus Kayla or not? Like, we needs to know, bro. Like, who's Clarissa Shields fighting? Is Jake Paul ever going to fight? Like, bro, let's come with the news. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, y'all slacking off, bro. It's just terrible. I can't believe what y'all are doing. Y'all are ridiculous, and you should be sick. You're making me sick. I'm sick of y'all. I can't believe y'all. Nevertheless, bro, I appreciate you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll also say, before I end this, I'm gonna say it again. What are y'all doing? I mean, right now boxing is running with the trophy, being Francis Ngannou. What are y'all doing, MMA? What are you doing, UFC, with UFC 300? Pull the stars out. Send them a blank check. Be like, fill out your own number. We need you. Y'all got it. Dana could pay him with his pocket money. Y'all got it. Anyway, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about what's going to be at UFC 300. If there's a fight your boy Matt is too stupid to know, y'all let me know. Write it in the comments. Let me know who you got. Are you choosing Anthony Joshua or are you going to go along with Francis Ngannou? Man, let me know in the comments. Again, I appreciate you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.